It's not enough to flee your homeland as a refugee. Your children sometimes pay the price. These boys were born here to Afghan parents. They comb landfills for scrap paper to sell so their families will eat. Occasionally, there's a find in the trash, but they know something is missing.
सुबह 7 बजे आता है, शाम अज़ान पे जाता है, 6 रुपए किलो एक कागज़ का। हम गरीब हैं, हम मजबूरी करता है कागज़ उठाएगा, पैसा नहीं है, बस अभी मजबूरी है, स्कूल कुछ भी नहीं पढ़ेगा, अभी हमारा को नमाज भी नहीं आता है भाई, अभी हमारा को कुछ भी नहीं आता है, मजबूरी है अभी हम क्या करें।
Today, long hours are ahead. On World Refugee Day, it's no different. More than 9,000 kilometers to the southwest, the school day is starting at one of the world's oldest refugee camps. Refugee kids are taught biology and history by a Somali refugee.
والله maanta waa maalin aad noogu weyn waayo waa maalintii qaxootiga oo la aqoonsaday waa maalin dadka oo dhammaan la xushmeeyo UN-ta wax dadka ay encourage kareyso haday dumar rag iyo ilmo ay yihiinbo waa maalin qaas inoo anaga.
But she will only stay until she hears from Canada, where she has applied for a scholarship that would allow her to live and work there. Also this morning, refugees who fled fighting in the Central African Republic have been brought together for commemoration of World Refugee Day. They hear encouragement from local dignitaries. They also get new T-shirts. Most of the world's 70 million refugees, migrants, and displaced people aren't in camps. They migrate to cities like this one. Just 35 kilometers across the water from Britain, migrants and refugees say they have been targeted.
France has a current policy of no fixation points of migrants or refugees, and they're trying to do everything that they can to try and reduce people from staying in northern France.
The infrastructure to support refugees is in place. Almost 100 volunteers are here to feed all comers. But though there's a sense that there are plenty of resources, it's getting harder for them to actually help the refugees.
The harassment techniques used by police forces against volunteers are many.
And though police have driven many migrants out of sight, today we still find officers arresting several on the side of the road as we drive to the tent city called the Jungle. Calais had a much bigger population of migrants.
So you see there's a few refugees here.
Until 3 years ago when police closed the Jungle. They put up fences to block routes to what had been thought of as a safe resting place.
So here's the old jungle where 10,000 people used to live. It's all empty now. Everything was evacuated, burned down, gotten rid of. Right here, forbidden access. But the irony is that this place is now a resting place for migratory birds. So birds have the right to rest, but not human beings.
Today, the jungle is rougher. When we arrive, they threaten our crew and stop us from filming. We have to pay one to take some cell phone photos. They complain police raid every 2 days to move them out. They're holding a press conference this afternoon to air their grievances. We'll have to hurry to make it. Back in Jordan, music signals the arrival of Filippo Grandi at the fair. He has been the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees since 2016. In 3 years, the number of refugees, migrants, and displaced persons has grown from 60 million to nearly 71 million. His job is tough, to mobilize resources to help. He's been brought here to showcase what is possible for refugees to achieve.
He learned it from his father.
The refugees are at attention, proud of what they've made. But some booths he walks by without seeing, caught in conversation with another dignitary. About 1,700 kilometers away, World Refugee Day has started less formally. Adam and his family fled Syria in 2015, gradually moving north. When the border was closed, they were trapped. On World Refugee Day, they're still here.
I'm like a lot of refugees who escaped from the war, escaped from a lot of things. We need to find other future, to find a possibility for us, for my family. I'm thinking about for my family and what I can do for him. We need help to find a good place, to find a future. We need somebody to give us hand, because we lost a lot of things and we are tired. I lost my country before 9 years or 8 years. It's not easy for me.
Because of the women and children, today, this camp feels more like a neighborhood. But the barbed wire isn't there to protect them from outsiders. It's to keep them in. In town, just a few kilometers away, a small table and 2 volunteers quietly mark World Refugee Day. With the camp so close by, information about those stranded in their country is not new. The bus arrives every morning from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Police.
Bienvenidos a los Estados Unidos. Yo soy de seguridad de aquí.
It brings undocumented migrants caught trying to cross the border with Mexico. Volunteers at Casa Alitas resettle these migrants. They provide them what they need, including transportation to a new home. Some are pregnant. Their babies will automatically become U.S. citizens. The U.S. is one of only 2 first world countries that grants unconditional citizenship at birth. On his first day in the U.S., one of those who just arrived is using an alias to explain his decision.
Entonces, sí, la razón que lo que los alcanzaba ahí era solo para lo que comíamos en el día, para vestirnos no los alcanzaba. Y esa fue la intención de venirme para acá por cumplir un sueño, sacar adelante mi familia y salir adelante yo.
Seeking a better life is different from being a refugee. But he's well on his way to making the American system work for him. He's been paroled by a U.S. immigration system that, by law, entitles border crossers to a hearing before deportation. Like the others who arrived today, he'll get clothes, food, and a bus ticket that tonight will take him away from the border and closer to his goal of a job in America.
These folks are coming here to be part of the culture. They want to be part of America. They want, in a good way, to contribute to it. You know, they know that our country was built on hard work, on people of hope and faith who were willing to dedicate their lives to building something greater, and they want to be a part of that. They want to contribute to that. They're simply just asking for security and safety and having us give them the opportunity to grow and to take care of themselves and their families.
So I have three people with children going to the bus.
As new ones arrive, other immigrants get ready to leave.
Boletos, ¿quieren comida?
Bus tickets take them to places they've never been.
Hora de salir, ¿verdad?
Their immigration status is officially questionable. But if they don't commit crimes, they are unlikely to be deported. They will live in places that on World Refugee Day they're learning about for the first time.
Today, Thursday, is World Refugee Day in the United Nations.
3,100 kilometers to the east, Voice of America's Tibetan service readies for its World Refugee Day newscast. Its centerpiece is their interview with the Dalai Lama, perhaps the world's best-known refugee.
Many problems, you see, due to too much emphasis, the concept of we and they. We are the same human being.
When China exiled the Dalai Lama, the Indian government set aside land for Tibetans in exile. Now, more than 70,000 Tibetans live here, including more than 400 monks at the Tashi Lanpo Monastery. On World Refugee Day, Tenzin Kunchuk is trying to get home. He hasn't seen his family since he was 7. He waits for word that the Chinese embassy, 1,800 kilometers away, is willing to see him for a first interview. He expects a no.
I applied 7 or 8 times. Yeah, I went there it's more than 10 times. Because the Chinese, they don't like Tibetan Buddhist monk.
But in exile, he has learned to be patient. Refugees strain resources. Countries like Mexico are caught in the middle. On World Refugee Day, Mexico is asking the United Nations for support.
Nuestro país enfrenta nuevos retos. El número de personas y familias migrantes que solicitan la condición de refugiado en nuestro país ha crecido exponencialmente.
No están solos, les vamos a seguir apoyando de distintas formas para enfrentar los retos de la llegada de refugiados al país.
Yet today, police in Mexico are reported to be cracking down on migrants, a new development. World Refugee Day is Carolyn Lang's first day as an intern with the U.S. charity Mercy Corps. She will work along the Venezuelan border. As that nation collapses under the weight of socialism, Venezuelans are fleeing here to eastern Colombia. Mercy Corps gives them money for resettlement and to help them set up their own small businesses.
Gracias, Maribel, para hablar con nosotros.
Her job is getting information from those who have been helped. On her first day, she's still getting used to how to explain what she needs, so the team helps out.
Lo que te está preguntando, o sea, ella te va a dar varias categorías, ¿sí? Y tú le tienes que decir cuánto has gastado en eso. ¿Sí? Por ejemplo, si ella me dice a mí alimentos, yo me gasté 50,000 pesos en los últimos 30 días en alimentos.
It's really difficult to have conversations that are so really intimate with someone. You're asking about the money that they're able to spend on their family, on food for their family, on shelter, on transportation, all these things that I think lots of people take for granted. It's difficult. It's really difficult. The first person we spoke with was sort of much more excited, and she was, very proud of her home and of her family and of what she'd been able to kind of create for her family. And then, as you could imagine, the other woman we spoke to was experiencing more challenges and was having a harder time.
A tougher time, refugees say, because they're in a new country and longing for home.
Yo puedo tener todo aquí, pero en verdad no me siento, en verdad mi país es mi país.
It's a day full of discoveries for this intern.
আত্মীয় মানুষ ছড়ে যে বর্মাতি মেজাল মারামারি হয়ে জোরে মুরার হাতত গিলাম বই মুরা হাতত গিলাম তখন গিয়ে ঘরে তখন ফুরা দিয়ে ফেলে মুরা মুরা হাজারও চলি হরে মুরা মুরা আই দিয়ে রে মাইসে ফেলা দিয়ে আইরে ফেলা দিয়ে আই তার হই দিয়ে গুলি মারার হেডুয়া আই তার হদ হুত তল্লা বলে আর তো মারি ফেলাইব হেঙ্গে বাইতে হদ দে বাসে হদ তইলে বা তল্লা আর তোর মারি ফেলাইলে আইলা হাতন মাদে এরিও আর জাগই
He couldn't leave his son Omar back in Myanmar, and he can't abandon him now. The boy, age 6, is desperately sick from hydrocephalus, swelling from an accumulation of fluids in his brain. A doctor in Cox's Bazar was to have operated today, but the surgery has been delayed. Today, the family must travel back to the Rohingya refugee camp before curfew at dark. It's an uncomfortable trip for the boy. A narrow, crowded roads. And a flat tire may mean they won't make it in time.